All right, everybody, it's 11:30 on March the 4th. I am going to give a brief Natgas update. What you see here, we'll just start with UNG. This is going back through the beginning of the year. Just for context, we had lots of large trades on the way down. Everything that you see here is a ranked trade, top 100 ranked trade. Lots of activity, and then not anything really since, which I find odd. It's okay that we didn't get one at the bottom, but we haven't seen any along the way either. So only bringing this up because I think it's a little bit unusual. But I do think that when we get one, it will mark some kind of a local high. So I don't think this move here is quite done. The main takeaway I have from Friday's action is that we didn't see any prints of consequence on any of the three ETFs. We didn't see them on UNG, we didn't see them on BOIL, we didn't see them on KOLD. And for me, the absence of information can often be just as telling as the presence of information. And in this case, we didn't really see anything big, certainly nothing even remotely big near the high of the day. And this is after a pretty substantial rally. So my first observation is that they don't appear to be done. But my second observation is that this thing is quite extended. You can see here gas went up 7%, and it had been rallying for the last few days. The largest print of the day came here, and it was a little less than 3 times average size, but it does present as a buy, so it looks to me like they were pushing it. Got a nice big move right afterwards. BOIL, we have some trades here, a couple of big ones the other day. I was looking for a pullback. We got a pullback. It didn't last very long, not even maybe an hour. We got a nice 9% or so move down. It recovered by the end of the day and kept on going. That's an impressive move. I expected some kind of a pullback. I was very surprised by how quickly it recovered. I kind of thought they'd pull it back to some point, let it sit there for at least the end of the day or maybe another day, and then buy some more and send it back up. But not what happened at all. A couple of big sells, they brought it down, and then they just kept it moving forward. But also with BOIL, this is the Friday chart. There was nothing almost the whole day. And what I always say is that the absence of any large trades does suggest continuation in the direction of the trend. So it would seem to me that this has further to go. What's complicating matters for me is how far it went in such a short period of time. And I know it's Natgas, I get it, but this went up 15%. BOIL went up 15% just on Friday. It went going up on Thursday, and it went up on Wednesday, and so on. And it's kind of been on a tear here for the last 10 days or so. So, I would have been, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't get some kind of pause, but it is what it is. It looks like it needs to go higher. I don't know what path it will take, but I do expect that whenever they decide they want to put a local high in, we're likely to see some large blocks. And we got nothing. These are scraps. This is noise here. KOLD, just reviewing where we were again. This is back in February. This was the first trade we saw. Got a little pullback. This is the big one, the number one. We got the overshoot, and then it's been a collapse since. This collapse doesn't surprise me. Their only surprise is that when this print arrived, I thought that we would get a bigger bounce. I thought this bounce would come up into this zone, 60 to 65. It didn't. It turned right around and kept on going. And just like with BOIL and UNG, I don't see any trades down here of any size. This is the chart from Friday. This is the largest one of the day. It wasn't even that big, and it looks like it was just a short, and they took it right back down. So nothing in KOLD, nothing in BOIL, nothing in UNG to suggest any kind of change. As far as targets go, there isn't anything really obvious on UNG or BOIL from what I can tell based on the trades, but this zone down here stands out to me on KOLD. So 36.20, which is not that much further down. Maybe that's where they want to bring it. It's just something to keep an eye on. We did get a few trades down here back in January before this big run-up. So perhaps that may be where the move terminates or pauses. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's just an area to keep in mind if you are playing this name. We'll have to see. And then maybe if if we do see some trades arrive in this zone, that will be a signal that the move is going to change course in some way. So there's a couple different ways that this could move. Sunday, we could get some kind of a pullback to let it cool off a little bit, but with a more immediate recovery, similar to what we saw here in Boyle. Maybe we gap down on Sunday night and it's shallow in nature, just to give it a breather, and then it continues up. Or perhaps this needs to gap up and trip some stops, and then maybe sell or print some large trades on Monday morning at the open. I don't know. Of course, it isn't limited to just those two options. Those are just two options that come to mind. But it's a little bit conflicting in that we've got such a strong move in such a short period of time, and normally you would expect, at least with the gas ETFs, to see some kind of a large print at the end of the day Friday, because they do like to make these large weekend moves on Sunday nights. And we didn't get them. So seems awfully extended, and likewise, there's nothing that suggests that it is done. So kind of a tricky spot. So what I'm going to do is just keep on watching and see when the prints arrive, and depending on when they arrive and how large they are, and maybe some other circumstances, maybe I'll trade against them. But for now, there's nothing to suggest anything other than some kind of continuation of this upward trend in the short term, and I'll be looking for some prints to tell me if that's going to change. That's it. So here we are. UNG's up here in this $10 zone. It's a kind of a mental, psychological level of some sort, though there aren't really any trades up here from the last time we were in this $10 zone. Not anything large anyway. And the profile is kind of thin. We've got over this big this big area here where all the volume was from early February, late January, early February. So we're kind of up in this zone here. I don't know where it's going to go. We shall see. But I need to see something big to tell me they're done. And there's nothing in Boyle, nothing in UNG, nothing here at the bottom at KOLD. And we have what might be a target in KOLD. So that's it, guys. One last addendum here. The other scenario that crossed my mind is that they could have put in some big trades that haven't been reported. So something else to keep an eye out for on Monday is if there's some late prints that show up, maybe pre-market, or maybe there's, in the event that there's a move down Sunday night and into Monday morning, perhaps some late prints will arrive at this level in Boyle, or at this level in UNG, or even down here in KOLD. One or more of those three. It's possible. It's not the most probable outcome. We do see late prints all the time, certainly in the indexes and several other names. But for whatever reason, the gas ETFs don't typically arrive after the weekend. They will arrive late insofar as they'll arrive after hours. Sometimes they'll make a trade at 4 or quarter to 4 on Friday afternoon, and then the print will show up at 4:30 or 5. But it's not common for these prints, particularly the large ones, to arrive on a Monday after hitting some kind of level on a Friday. So if that happens, that would be a new twist. Not my expectation, but something to keep in mind. All right, guys, that's all. If you have questions, you know where to find me. I hope you subscribe if you haven't, and I'll keep making these for you. That's it. Thanks. Bye-bye.